Today we're going to talk about marriage versus divorce. The question is, do you think that it's best to stay in your marriage versus getting into a divorce? Do you think it's more healthy? Well, we know it ain't healthy. If you got a bad marriage, in my opinion, I feel like you should get out of it, because sometimes we feel like it's more, financial, conducive to our situation if we just stay married. However, it's toxic to our situation and our kids if we just stay married. So a lot of people think, hey, I'm gonna stay married till my kids get out the house, or I'm gonna stay married for all these different reasons. But at the end of the day, divorce is the best way to go.
Infidelity, domestic violence,
right.
Gambling problems,
right.
What else?
Whatever the Bible says to give you probable cause to get out of a marriage.
Skedaddle.
Right, let's do it. Because it is reasons in the Bible that God is okay with you getting a divorce. However, as humans,
infidelity is most definitely one.
Right.
The biggest one.
And I think abuse too.
Yes, and abuse.
Right. However, as people think that it's more better to stay married for the kids, so the kids don't have to go through a breakthrough or the divorce. But sometimes we don't realize that when our kids see us fussing and fighting and arguing and all this other stuff that's going on, they're smart enough. Yeah, they smart enough to know, and we're like making behaviors in them. We're making them feel like, regardless of what a person does to you, that it's okay to deal with it.
Big thing. If you're fighting with your significant other, with your spouse, right? You're teaching your child. Because your child is learning everything from you, whether you're sitting them down and writing it down to them or teaching them verbally. At the end of the day, nonverbal communication is very prevalent in a household with two parents in it. So if I'm the husband in this household and my child sees how I talk to that mother, right, in a specific way, he's gonna pick up on that. Right. If I'm talking to her like she ain't dog crap, but she ain't nothing, right? If I'm talking to her like that, that's a behavior that child is going to pick up and think to himself, that's the way I'm supposed to talk to my wife. Right. If you've got a daughter in your house and you as a man, you're talking to her mother that way, right, she's going to naturally assume that's normal for my husband to talk to me this way, and I should be okay with that. She's
going to go look for that type of man, because normally us as females, we look for a certain type of man that we have within our father, regardless of what characteristics they may be. But we do long for those different traits, and sometimes we look for those guys to fill the voids that we're missing from our father, the things that we didn't get. Real talk.
So us as fathers, even if you're going through a marriage and a situation to where it's toxic in nature, just because that woman, I'm just speaking from a man's standpoint, just because that woman is being toxic does not mean that you have to match her energy. You can always get up and leave.
Right.
Always. You do not have to stay. If it's a financial burden, I'm going to tell you, like a man, pull up your bootstraps and do what you got to do to handle your responsibilities. If you have to share that custody, if you have to drop your kids off and say, you know what, I see little Junior on the weekend. Right. And I take him to a park for a couple hours and throw a basketball with him or football or whatever, and do what you got to do to spend that time with him, and then take him to McDonald's and get him a Happy Meal. I promise you, it is so much more productive to spend that time with him versus trying to peel out some time throughout the week every day when you know that financially you're not capable of doing it because you got to work.
Right.
So do what you have to do to get yourself on a level that you need to be on, so that when you are there for your son or your daughter, you can be there exactly how you need to be, so that in their mind, they'll remember these moments that you're having with them versus moments where you're just kind of in the house, but you're kind of not there mentally.
Right. So
you're not really spending that time and getting that one-on-one interaction with that child. Like they're lacking in that.
And also, like, I feel like us as mothers, if we allow, the father to, cheat on us, and we put up with it, and we allow him to talk to us a certain way, we're teaching our daughters to think that that's okay, and our sons to think that that's how they're supposed to treat the women that they love. Like, we're setting up so many bad behaviors and traits in our kids by staying in a toxic relationship, when we could be helping them develop and become better young women and men if we just take out the time to be more, powerful and get out those situations, because they look at us as role models. So if us as a role model can be strong enough to leave a situation, that makes them strong enough to not deal with certain things in their relationships that they're going to go through, whether it's situationships, friendships, family-ships, or whatever it may be. You know, enough is enough. We got to stand for something, because we're raising kids. Kids are the people of the future. So if we teach them right, they're going to lead the way in the future right?
Exactly. Some stuff that we talked about last year in a lot of our podcasts. Set boundaries for yourself. Before you even enter into that relationship, already know what it is that you're looking for in a relationship, right? So if you know you don't want a domestic violence situation in your relationship, on the first 3 dates that you go on with this person, these are some things that y'all should be talking about. What's your past when it comes to domestic violence? What's your past when it comes to infidelity? Like, are you a solid person? You know what I'm saying? Do you cheat?
Right.
Like, be honest. Have you cheated?
Relationship.
You know, and understanding this as a requirement that you have to have in your life, and understanding, hey, even if a person might have cheated, you know, if they had some type of reason or whatever the case may be, at least they're being honest and talking to you at that moment, and it's giving you the opportunity to choose whether you want to engage in a relationship with that person further. But understanding, hey, once you get in a relationship with me, that's not okay.
Right.
I need you to understand, if it's not working, you can just chunk the deuces up and get on out. You can get out of my life, because I don't need that energy, you know?
Right. I mean, I agree with everything you're saying. I just feel like Jay said, set boundaries for yourself. When you go on these dates, look for certain signs in a person. If you go somewhere and a person is being mean to the waiter, or if you ask him about his relationship with his mother or family members, and he just has like a bitter soul, or, you know, it can be, all you gotta do is just look for certain things, whether it's a man or a woman, and it lets you know, because you don't want a toxic female either to marry, you know what I mean? So when you see these signs, we need to stop ignoring these signs and stop saying, oh, we can fix that, oh, we can work through that, we'll get over that, that's just small to a giant. No,
because you're not a mechanic.
Right.
You're not supposed to fix nothing.
Right.
You're supposed to just glide right into a relationship.
Right.
It's like, relationships are not difficult.
Right.
They're only difficult if you choose to make them difficult.
Right.
So if you can't, like an airplane, when you get on an airplane, you won't want it to land like, right? You want to do skirt, skirt, skirt. If the relationship ain't that smooth, there's something wrong. You need to figure it out to make it smooth, or you need to skedaddle. You need to skedaddle.
100%, I agree. So at the end of the day, you know, just pray, put God first, because this is the proper thing. And that's another thing. If he doesn't pray and put God first, he can't lead you to God. He already.
What you doing?
That's a negative anyway, because that's what you should look for in relationships, because you want a man that can, you know, put God first, so he can love you like Christ loved the church, so he can be able to treat your kids right, because God, we need God to do all those things. 100%.
You can lead your household properly.
Right. So with that being said, it's Bella and Jay, and we out this thing.
Another video. Doom.